broker with Legacy Properties, Sotheby's International in Portland. Can you not hear me? Or too loud? Up. Okay. Okay. You want to hit the next one? That's not me. Sandra was supposed to be here today, but unfortunately she had a family emergency, so she asked me to step in. I've been working with Sandra for the last 3 or 4 years, and this is actually her presentation, and I've not done this before, so bear with me. Can you do it from there? Okay. Did it click? So if you're considering selling your home, where do you start? It helps to have a plan, as Kim and Liz said. And it's very common to be worried. There's so many decisions that you have to be made. There's timing. How much is your property going to be worth? To be worried about the logistics of the move, and where's all your stuff going to go. So today's learning is learning how to manage all of that to make a smooth transition. And so then the next question is now the right time to sell your home. And today's market now is a very good time to sell your home. Inventory right now is very low, and we have quite a few buyers who are actually looking for properties and haven't been able to find them. So it's a very, very good time to list your home if you're ready to move. It's very difficult for people to make a decision about where they would like to go. And a lot of times children will help parents in this process. Sandra and I have worked with many clients in making this transition from a home into a smaller place. And we're always here to help you do this, and also to work with your children and your family to make that transition a little bit easier for you. So these are the 4 main components of making this transition easy. Your stager, which would be Liz and Kim or any other stager. There are several very, very good staging companies here in the Portland area. Your realtor, your banker, who's going to be a very important person to work with in this process, and your mover. Whoever you choose to actually move your possessions to your new home. So we all work together to make this as easy for you as we possibly can. So your first question is probably, will I have enough money to actually make this move? And the way you would determine that is to do a couple of things. First of all, it would be very helpful to speak with your financial advisor, your banker, to go through your finances. And then the second thing would be to get comparative market analysis on your property. This is where the realtors can help you determine where to price your home and help you to make decisions on what actions to take to make your house ready for sale. So what do buyers want to see when they come into your home? It has to be move-in ready. Everything has been taken care of, no repairs. The $5 equals $50 rule pertains to, for instance, if you've got a broken doorknob, that's an easy, very inexpensive fix. But the value you might get from that is more than the $5 you've spent. Also, no personal imprint. I know a lot of people, I myself included, love to have family photos on fireplaces, on tabletops, etc. But it's probably best to move most of those, kind of depersonalize your home as much as possible. Buyers want to envision themselves in your new home, in their new home. No space challenges. Say, for instance, there's a funny alcove that you don't quite know what to do with, and a stager could help you envision that spot differently. You might want to put in a desk or put in a bookcase or something to help identify the space or make it look a little bit more usable. And buyers are going to be visualizing themselves in your house. So the clearer you make it, the better it will be for them. Yes, it says, by the way, only 10% of the population is capable of visualizing the potential of unfamiliar space. Okay. So who is your buyer? Well, this is an example. If you have a very large home, a typical buyer might be just a younger family with several children. They're going to live in your house very differently than the way you do at this point. So, and they also may not be able to relate to your decor. So they'll probably not want to, for instance, they may not want to use a formal dining room. They just wouldn't have any use for it if there's a kitchen that has an eat-in kitchen. Then they may not relate to your decor. In other words, overcrowded furniture in the living room, wallpaper or wall-to-wall carpeting. For most people coming in, young families will not relate to any of that at all. So those things are probably things you need to think about changing. We might need to think about a use, changing the space. As I said earlier, the formal dining room might not work for them. Families are going to need designated space for television, for homework, for kids' projects, maybe sporting equipment. So they'll be thinking about changing your space to make their needs. And again, as Liz and Kim said, your children may not want your antiques or old drapes or furniture. So you might need to consider making those things changed. This is a property that Sandra Wendland had listed. I've actually been in the property. It's a beautiful home in Cumberland on the water, but it really needed work in staging. I mean, everything was in pretty good condition, but it was just too much furniture in a smaller space. So a stager came in and redid the room. And the next photograph will show you what they did. So they just simplified everything. It makes a huge difference. Makes everything look light and airy. And that's what buyers like to see now. Is things an awful lot simpler. And this is the dining room in the same home. Very heavy dining room table with chairs, drapes that are blocking the light, and the huge pendant light. And this is the same room after a stager has taken care of it, moved out the heavy dining room table, and set it up as a reading room, a nice family room area. And this is a space that was unused and in a vacant house. And sometimes we do list vacant homes, and sometimes vacant homes are really difficult to sell because people don't quite know how the space is supposed to be used. So we brought in a stager to actually set up, and this is probably rented furniture or someone. Yeah, it was probably, I can't remember now, it was probably rented furniture that was just brought in to make the space look usable, so you actually can figure out how you would use that kind of arrangement around the windows and that huge, beautiful doorway. So these are some of the things that would need to be taken care of in a house that you're thinking about putting on the market. Make sure that everything that's broken or torn, or loose or rusty is fixed. An awkward layout can usually be fixed. A stager can help you deal with that by just moving pieces out of the room or rearranging them. Painting is very important. Making sure that the dark rooms are changed to a lighter color. Professional cleaning is always advisable. Again, stager can help you with that. Real estate agents have lists of people who can come in and help you do those things too. And remodeling a kitchen or a bath. Sometimes you don't have to do a huge demolition job, but you can maybe put in a new kitchen counter or a new kitchen, a bathroom sink or whatever. Makes things easier. And I'm dealing with a new driveway situation right now. And I think doing that, if you can afford it, and if it's not too big a project, that's probably a really good investment also. I'm not going to go through this so much because Kim and Liz kind of took care of all of that. But I know that one piece of advice that I would give would be sorting through your possessions long before you decide to put your house on the market. It'll just make the work so much more easy to do. And if you've got a floor plan, it's very, very helpful, as Kim and Liz said. They can help you know what fits. They can measure the space for you, the place where you might want to put. This thing's going in and out. I apologize. And the stager can also help you decide what pieces to take with you when you're moving into a new property. And we've gone over deciding what to take and okay. These are some statistics about staging, and I think we've been. They're very, very true. Houses do sell much faster when the house is properly staged and ready to go. And this term, as far as professional photography is concerned, we've noticed that our listings at Legacy, we always have a professional photographer take photos. They look so much better on the internet. And since most buyers now go to the internet first to look for their new homes, photographs make a huge difference. So to get your property sold and sold quickly, pricing it properly is utmost importance. As you can see here, properties that are overpriced require a price reduction, sell for approximately 14% less than the properties that are priced appropriately. We can, those of us at Legacy can prepare a market analysis for you, comparing properties that have sold already in your neighborhood or in your area, those that have that are currently on the market, and also those that are pending, to give you an idea of where you might want to list your home. So properties, if they're priced correctly, will sell within 60 to 90 days. I did a quick check of Falmouth, and within the last 90 days, Falmouth has had 39 homes sold, and 25 of those sold in less than 90 days, and 14 of those sold in less than 20 days. So, yep.
Take questions?
I can, yeah.
Later.
Yep.
Okay.
So 14 of those sold in less than 20 days. So the market right now is very robust. The houses are selling very quickly, if they're priced right. If they're on the market for longer than 90 days, it gets harder and harder for them to sell. And staging does help avoid the costly carrying costs for your home. As I said before, this is a very, very good time to sell. We have low inventory at this point, and we do have buyers who are looking for properties. As I said, there are some homes that have gone on the market and sold within 2 days, or at least gone into contract within 2 days. And the interest rates are remaining low. Consumer confidence is high, and employment rates are good. Unemployment rates are good. So these are all factors in which determine buyers actually looking for properties right now. This is fairly self-explanatory, but like I said, it's a very good time to put your property on the market right now if you're ready to do that. Supply and demand. We have a low supply, high demand. And as I said earlier, the properties are going under contract sometimes before hitting the multiple listing service, and they go under contract quite quickly. And we are starting to see home prices rise for this spring, which is a good advantage for sellers. So these are some of the issues or questions that I'm sure you've been thinking about. You may not be ready to move at this juncture. But careful planning and assistance from the family and team of experts like Kim and Liz, the movers, the bankers, can help you make this process much smoother and easier. To kind of summarize, the market is moving, and we can sell it if it's priced correctly. And we'll work with you as a team to help figure out your finances, get your home ready, stage it, get you packed, and get you moved. And we'll make this as quickly as possible. Anybody have any questions? Yeah.
What's the cost for staging if you a house that's 4,500 square feet?
Do you know the answer to that question? Because I don't.
We would actually come up and see what is entailed. There also are different things.
you clear your house from your personal and declutter, your pictures, etc. But then there's a whole other portion of staging of whether you're going to bring in furniture that is not your own. So,
Question.
yeah.
Or I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you take, if you signed up for a cottage, could we take stuff we're gonna use in the cottage out of the house before you came over and stayed?
Yes, yes.
With reason.
Right, and then we would look at what you have left.
Yep,
You've taken out what you are moving over here.
yep,
Then we look at what you have left and see if it makes sense.
yep.
So if there's only a bed in the bedroom and no bureau, what can I borrow from another room to populate?
Understood.
So, staging itself is not that expensive if you're only using your furniture. Where you get into more cost is if you are renting furniture to populate. If you're populating rooms, like you saw some of the beautiful ones, they were beautiful. That was rented furniture. And with that does come a price. It may be on the market, you may only have it for a month, but you may have it for 6 months. So, but we as stagers can come over and try and figure out the best plan working with your budget. Okay?
What's the sales volume in Scarborough? Like you told us what? I live in Scarborough.
You live in Scarborough?
I don't know the answer right off the top of my head, but I can certainly find out for you.
Fine.
Yep, definitely.
I'll give you my phone number.
Okay, I will absolutely get that answer for you. I won't. I promise. I won't pester you.
Pester me, you will lose out.
I promise you. I'm not the kind of person who pesters, believe me. Yes.
I have a question. In my apartment, which is about square feet, 2 bedrooms, it is wall-to-wall wood. I bought it 22 years ago. And, but I finished my question. So I know it has to come out. My major question is, if I replace it with something, the people who buy it might have chosen something else. I would like to be in conversation and say, you know, do you want tile, do you want wood, what do you want? And help them do that. Because I have seen people get their house ready and the next people come in and basically gut. It was a beautiful, and people put in granite counters and the people coming in didn't want granite counters.
Right.
And it drives me crazy when children are starving with that. In the world to do this. So what would you do with a situation like that? A major replacement of floor-to-wall furniture. I know it has to come out, but how do you handle working with a new owner to get what they would want in there?
I guess I would suggest if you have, if the buyer, if you have a buyer who's really interested in the property, that is a discussion that you can have with the buyer's broker to come to some sort of agreement on what you might want to make a small price adjustment so that you don't have to do it. But they can come in and do it. It is a negotiation, and you can certainly work with the buyer's broker to make that decision.
You have to show it that the old board
Right.
say, this is going out.
Right.
I don't want to get into
Yeah. You just say you could say the flooring will be replaced before closing with the materials of the buyer's choice within reason. I mean, you put a dollar value on that. You wouldn't want to just blanket it.
the same idea as countertops and stuff.
Correct. Right.
So if you're putting the house on the market and the buyers will want at least another need a half bath in addition to what you already have. Is it smart to do the half bath before you actually market it, or to just have an estimate and tell them what it's going to cost for them to put in the same thing?
I would recommend doing an estimate. I wouldn't go ahead.
You wouldn't
and,
put the bath in.
I'd get estimates. I mean, if there's an easy way to put a half bath in, you know.
Well, if it's not easy for me, it's not going to be easy for them.
Right. Bathrooms are important to buyers. So if there's a space for, if you don't want to do it do it yourself, I would put, if especially if you've got 2 floors and there's not a bathroom on the first floor, if you can find a space, yeah, I would probably do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hi. My name's Barbara, and I'm going to be selling, hopefully, our large farmhouse here in Falmouth within the next 2 years. And you made a comment, and I've seen this in the newspaper, sold in just 2 days. My gut tells me it was not priced right. Can you give a little explanation as to maybe the...
So maybe it wasn't priced.
Well, maybe
It was too low.
Maybe yes, that's
Yeah.
my indication is if it sold in 2 days or under 30, it was not priced appropriately for the most profit for the seller. Can you just give me a little more information on that?
I've been in that position where I've sold a house and went under contract very quickly, and I think maybe I should have priced it higher.
Okay.
But I really think it was priced right. I think, especially now when houses are selling so quickly and going under contract quickly, I think they are priced right. I think it's just the inventory is so low.
Okay. Another question I have is I live in this neighborhood and the zoning recently changed from 40,000 to 10,000 for a home. I've talked to brokers who refuse to give me a market analysis on my home because there's no comparables. Or I should say, a piece of property has been sold, it's being developed. Not everyone in the neighborhood's happy with it, but when we try to have a broker say, well, we have the same situation at our home, we say, well, we got to see what this sells for first. We have no comparables. Can you tell me what professionally you might do if you're in that same situation?
I have to think about that. I honestly don't know the answer to that question at this point. Maybe we could talk later.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, thanks.
We have on a page called Evaluating My Price and Staging Statistics. Thank you. It says the ROI for staging is over 500%, meaning the return on investment. How do you get 500%?
Now, I actually cannot answer that question. This, like I said, this was Sandra's presentation. I don't know where she got that number. Yeah. Can you answer that?
I think I can.
Okay, good.
I've been at Sandra's presentations before. What she is saying is if you spend $5,000 on staging, in return, it's going to pay off by $25,000. So if you say up front that you want to spend $5,000, and then you potentially can ask $25,000 more because it's paying off. That's how she had explained it. Does that make sense? So what you're putting into the cost of staging, you can expect to get 5 times back that.
That's 500%.
Well, yeah. Unless I
I have to do math.
that's my best explanation, sorry.
What were those numbers again? I'm sorry. 5,000 for staging. How much more are you gonna get?
Times 5, right.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.